I've been listening to this litany of where are the jobs? I've been here long enough. Mr. Pence, you opposed the program in 1993. Let me tell you something. We have lost 200,000 less jobs per month than Bush lost in his last 3 months in office over the last 3 months. Now, is that where we want to be? It is not. But it's 200,000 better than your last 3 months in your administration.
The leader, I know it was unintentional, misstated my record.
Wow. Okay, then. Here with us now, the man on the other end of that, Republican representative from Indiana and chairman of the House Republican Conference, Congressman Mike Pence.
Getting tough down there on the floor. The People's House.
Mike is pushing for a delay in President Obama's timeline for health care reform, which you could argue makes sense.
It makes a lot of sense, but it upsets Steny. What was the back and forth between you and Steny Hoyer?
Good morning, guys. Well, the back and forth yesterday was that House Republicans took to the floor and held the floor for about 3.5 hours to ask the question, Joe, that I think the majority of Americans are asking today, and that is, where are the jobs? I mean, it's been about 6 months since they passed the so-called stimulus bill, and this economy has lost more than 2 million jobs since they passed that legislation. Now they pass a budget-busting budget that'll double the national debt in 5 years, triple it in 10. They just passed a national energy tax, and now they want to pass a government takeover of health care with nearly $1 trillion tax increase. We're just trying to get Congress to focus on the issue that most Americans are focusing on, and that is getting this economy moving again.
Well, and Mike, you know, Mike Barnicle always says the three issues are jobs, jobs, and jobs, but you didn't expect the stimulus bill to create jobs this quickly, did you? That's not realistic.
Well, we don't expect the stimulus bill to work in the broadest possible terms. I mean, borrowing $1 trillion from China and spreading it around the economy in the next couple of years is probably going to have some short-term positive effect on the margins. But Joe, you know, Kennedy knew, Reagan knew, you know how you get this economy moving again. That is fiscal discipline in Washington, D.C., and tax relief for working families, small businesses, and family farms. That's the kind of stimulus that we need to pass, not this massive government giveaway they just did. And for heaven's sakes, let's not raise taxes on the heels of a national energy tax. Let's not raise $1 trillion in taxes to pay for a government takeover of health care.
Mike, yeah, I mean, God, you know, I am not an economist, though many people watching this show may believe that I am one. But Mike, I mean, even I know you don't raise taxes on energy and you don't raise taxes on small business while the economy is in free fall.
Joe, my wife doesn't allow me to have a checking account, and I know that.
That's right.
I know that.
Let me. I mean, truthfully, my view as a conservative, Joe, like you, I don't think raising taxes is ever a good idea.
Right.
But for heaven's sakes, in the worst recession in the last 25 years, a national energy tax, and now did you guys see what Charlie Rangel said this morning?
What's that?
He said that nobody wants to tell, it's in the Drudge Report, I think. He said nobody wants to tell the Speaker that she's moving too fast, and nobody wants to blankety-blank tell the President he's moving too fast. You know what? If you're raising taxes too fast for Charlie Rangel, you might want to switch to decaf.
Yeah, you may. Hey, here's Mike Barnicle. He's got a question. Mike.
Congressman, every time people talk about health care reform legislation that's in the House and the Senate, they talk about we've got to eliminate the waste, the fraud, and the duplication. It's almost by rote. That's what they talk about. My question to you is, if waste, fraud, and duplication has been existent in the healthcare system for years, where have been the people who are charged with investigating this waste, fraud, and duplication? What have they been doing? Sleeping at the switch?
Probably, yeah. It's probably a fair critique, Mike. I don't think under Republican control we did nearly enough in the area of oversight while there was a Republican president in the White House. But remember, the waste, fraud, and abuse mostly occurs in those public systems of Medicaid in particular. We see billions of dollars of fraud. Now the president is insisting on a new government-run insurance option for all Americans. And you know, the reality is, if you think we got waste, fraud, and abuse now in Medicaid, wait until we expand a Medicaid-style system to every single American, and the bureaucracy and the waste will be mind-boggling.
All right, Mike Pence, thank you so much. It is getting interesting on Capitol Hill. Good luck.
You know what
Thank you,
also
guys.
is interesting, Joe?
What's that?